We are live, and I'm setting things up as we speak. So I got my microphone. Hopefully, I got my camera all set up properly, and we're going to do a show. I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff to talk to you about. Most of it's Chrono Mechanics related, and we have a special guest. So I don't want to tell who the special guest is yet. I'm going to leave that as a surprise. So I'm going to kind of hit you with everything right up front, and then we're going to get our special guest in here. And so I need a sign of life. I think there's a delay. There's always a delay. So if you guys are out there, please type in the chat. And yeah, I am RT Bear, 25-year, actually 35-year comic book veteran. This wacky industry. We make comic books. We make comics and try to entertain people. That's what I try to do anyway. I know there are some people that try to get agenda and their politics into their comic books, but that's not what I am about. I am not about that at all. I want to make people, I want to entertain them. I want to make them smile. I want to take them on an adventure. That's what the hell I want to do. Reality sucks, man. Let's get let's go off and go into these fantastic adventures and get away from our doldrums for at least, you know, half hour, 30 minutes, however long it takes you to read a comic book. Maybe an hour if you really scrutinize the art. Sometimes I do that. I try to the first read, whenever I read a comic book, I try not to get hung up on the art too much. So I try to just read it through so I can get the adventure. And then I come back and I read it again if I really like it. And then I scrutinize the artwork. I scrutinize the hell out of it. All right. Sign of life. Hey, what's up? What's up? I have so much stuff going on right now. I am barely going to be able to do this show. I borrow ideas, only the good ones. Hey, what's up? We have Edwin. Sign up for the ACE mailing list. Yeah, go sign up for his mailing list. And we got Sheldon, the wisecracking Sheldon Martin, as it wouldn't be a stream without Sheldon. The special guest is me. Of course. You know why? Because you trademark, and you always trademark. I tell that all the time. This is mine. I'm telling you right now, trademark. I'm fired up. We got a million things we're doing here. I had no idea getting a house ready to sell was that much freaking work. We've been a month or so just steady. I haven't been able to really draw too much, go on live streams. I had to miss EVS's auction. That broke my heart, man. That broke my heart. I wanted to go on, but even if I would have went on, I don't have any artwork. It's all packed up. Like it's, I packed everything up. This house is all packed. It's ready to go. I got to move soon so I can get my stuff back, because right now it's all downstairs in storage. So we got MJ. What's up? What's up? Hello. Bless me art for. Wait. Bless me art for I have sinned. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. That is very Catholic of you. Isn't that what we would say when we'd go into the confessional? Yeah, I was never too comfortable with that. Yeah, I was raised Catholic, and I remember my dad saying, I go, well, I feel weird going into a dark room, like a closet, and telling this guy my sins and stuff like that. And then no matter what my sin was, he would tell me to go say, you know, 14 Hail Marys or whatever and repent. So I did it, but I always thought it was strange. And then my dad asked me, or I asked my dad, and he said, well, he said the reason they have those is because some people don't have people, you know, they don't have friends or neighbors or people they trust to talk to. So if they've done something bad, or they're trying to work through some problems, sometimes a third party, a stranger that has credibility, is a good thing. So you can go in there and you can get it off your chest, and you can tell somebody what you did, and then this person can try to help you out and ease your conscience and try to get, I guess, to a point where you don't do it again. So I guess the whole point is for it to be a little uncomfortable, you know, so you don't do it again. But I thought that was a good explanation. Yeah. Yes, that's that. That's my first tangent. I'll probably go on many tangents today. Yo, Art, just a kid from Brooklyn. What's up, man? What is up? Leg kick one. Hello, RT Bear. Hello, chat. Oh, Sheldon is starting this shit already. Sweet. I love to be entertained. I love to be entertained. Well, no, you got to entertain us too with your wisecracking shenanigans, your chicanery. But I need Chrono Mechanics. They are going out now. We have got at least 150 of them out already. We put them out, started getting them out the first day we got the box in. I have been very, very bad. I haven't let you guys know too much. I did put up the announcement on Twitter and on Facebook that we got the books in. So without further ado, I have my books here. I'm going to show you guys the books. They look fantastic. It was worth the wait, you guys. This is a great product, man. I am so freaking excited about it. So I wanted to let you guys first know the books they're in. Excuse me. And they look great. And I know that there's at least 300 books that have been bagged and have all the stuff in them. And I believe Pamela's getting another like 80 out today. So that's probably where she's at right now, the post office. She tries to do it early in the morning. And so she's at the post office. I'm unwrapping a bundle of books. Look at this. They have that new, the new book smell. I probably just gave myself brain cancer. Oh, look at that. This is the shiny cover too, you guys. We spent a little bit more and got the shiny cover. So it looks, oh my gosh, it looks so fantastic. Look at that. Look at the spine. Let me see. There it is right there. Man, here's the back with all the jokes. It's not just an adventure, it's their damn job. T-Bear makes time travel relatively fun. Albert Einstein. What does it say? I can't read it. Smarty pants scientist. And then the other one says, the book or the writing on this book is unsurpassed. I will write nevermore. Edgar Allan Poe, writer of scary stories. It's right here, you guys. Like, these aren't fake. We actually went through time. We time traveled to get these quotes. So we showed these fantastic fellows the book, and they gave us quotes. And so Michelangelo, the great Michelangelo, what a compliment. He said, T-Bear's artwork is single-handedly bringing on the new Renaissance. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, man. That means so much coming from Michelangelo. Famous artist or Ninja Turtle, pick one. So yeah, that's how I repay his very generous compliment. By referring to him as a turtle. But, you know, some people just know Michelangelo as a Ninja Turtle. They don't know that he's a Renaissance genius. So there's my website. Look at that, Art by T-Bear, which I never, ever promote. But if you guys want some original artwork, a lifetime of original artwork, it's all up there on the site. I'm very proud of my Hack Shack Studios logo. Look at this. Oh my God! I'm just gonna show. I don't want to break the spine, but there's the credit page, back cover, and then there's the first page, Chrono Incorporated. So thank you guys so much for your patience. Thank you guys so much for backing. I do appreciate it. I am so excited, as you can tell. I've also had a lot of soda this morning, which I'll have a little bit more just to keep my spirits high. Retrofit, it is done. It is going out, you guys. It's not just me like holding up a book. This book has been shipping every day since last week. So Pamela has gotten books out every day. That's a stack of Chrono books. These variants equally, look, oh my gosh, look at how alive. Yeah, the shiny covers, look at that. This is Tom Bancroft's variant of Doug. Look at all the hot chicks. They love Doug. They love Doug. The 70s loves Doug. So yeah, this is the Doug or Doug or the D as the girlies call him. This is the variant cover. So we got those in as well. So people that ordered the variants are going to get theirs. We're doing it very in order this time. So we're doing all just book orders because Pamela, my wife, is so awesome. She always wants to be fair. So she always does the campaigns as they were ordered. So like the first order, second order, so on. But what she would do is she would have, like, because they weren't always the same orders. So she would always have to custom and kind of do things on the fly. So if somebody had this with their book or with the other things with their book, she would stop and put those together. So it didn't kind of go as quickly. But we had more time then, but we're selling the house and we want to get this campaign out to you guys as quickly as possible. One, we're not going to be here for much longer. And two, you guys have waited way too long. So I do appreciate your wait, your patience, and all that other stuff. So what she's doing is she's going all books plus variants, she's going in order so we can do them a lot faster. And I've been helping out with bagging and putting things together, and so has my daughter. So it's a group effort. We want to get these books to you guys as quickly as possible. And no shit, you guys, I'm so proud of this book. This book looks freaking amazing. I can't wait to hear what you guys think of the book when you get the book, all those other good things. And look at my good buddy, Carlo Barberi. Look at that cover. Holy shit, you guys. It's been a while since I kind of looked and got, invested, because I've been really, headlong into black and white and trying to get the next campaign going. But coming back and looking at these books and the artwork, just incredible. I'm sorry. I know I did the book and everything, but I think it looks great. I think it came out fantastic. So we have all the Caravaggio's. I got to ship some of these out to Carlo as well. So we got a stack of Oots. I guess I could show them, but I guess it's getting a little repetitious. So here's the Oots. You know what? I'm going to open it because that little plastic doesn't do it. So it doesn't pay off very well. Let's go here because it's all shiny and cool and new and everything. Look at this. It's like Christmas. Oh my gosh, it was worth it. Taking the plastic off. Look at that. This is Sean Cheeks Galloway. And man, I was so amazed when I got this back from him. He is truly a visionary artist, man. This guy thinks way outside the box. I met him before he broke into business, and I met him when I was promoting Chrono Mechanics way back when. So it was cool, like a whole full circle thing, because he really loved the concept and the characters. When I think I had an ash can or some craziness like that. So here, last but not least, Zen by Aaron Lepresti. And you guys, if you want the variants, they're still available on my Indiegogo. And my Indiegogo store is in demand. So a lot of this stuff is still available. The here we go. The two of the tiers, like I had told you previously. So this is Aaron Lepresti's Zen. Look at how fantastic that looks. So that's me showing off the books. Yeah, you could go there and get those books on my Indiegogo. But what I was going to say is that two of the tiers I had to pull down. So I pulled down the sketch tier, which is the golden time card tier. Sadly, just to keep things simplify things. And also, I don't know how to, if I keep giving the time cards, like, you know, I don't, years from now, I don't know if you guys are gonna fill them out and send them back to me. So I don't know how that's gonna work. So I think I have to do 70 drawings already if you guys fill out the card and get them. And if you don't know what the golden time card is, the golden time card, I put them all in your books. So there's 70 cards that went out. So if you get one of the time cards, it'll be in the first page here. And when you get that, you can either keep it as a cool souvenir because they came out really, really great, or you could fill them out, fill out your time card, sign your name, put your backer number up at the top, send it to me, and I will do a Chrono Mechanics character for you absolutely free, and I will ship that back to you. So that's the idea there. Would you? I think I was going to have you on the show. Should I give you? I could give you a link. Man, I'm all over the place. Yeah, I was going to try to get you on the show here, but everything got out of control. We're going to do a show together at some point, Sim, for sure. So I'm trying to go to the chat here, get caught up. Hell Art and Chat, VIP, getting a house sold is a ton of work. Man, I had no idea. All like just you look around the house, you see little things, little chips, little whatevers here, there, and you just think, it's not a big deal. But then when you actually start trying to get it done, you realize how time consuming it can be. Randy says, what's up? Looking good, Art. Thank you. The Canuck. You pulled down 2 stretch goals, not tiers. Yes, sorry, George. Yeah, stretch goals. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, and then the other stretch goal was the movie script. Thank you, George, for clarifying. Yeah, like I said, my brain is all over the place. Hey, Tara Wombat, I have no idea. I have no idea about Dynamite, to be honest, and I'm just going to say it. I still haven't got paid from them. I don't know what's going on with Dynamite right now, so I wish I could help you. I sent your enhanced sketch, and I had a note on it, a post-it on it, that this is for Tara Wombat. I told you that there might be a chance that you don't get that one, but, you know, obviously I did draw it. I did it for you live, and I did make a note that it was your drawing. But I have no control once I ship those out to Dynamite and they put those together. So sorry about that. There's nothing I can do. If you have a problem, maybe you could bring it up with Dynamite, but they're probably all shipped out. So, and like I said, I have my own problems. I haven't got paid 1 red cent from them yet. So I'm hoping, they said a check's in the mail. So I'm hoping that I will get paid. That would be nice, especially with all this shipping, not shipping, but getting the house ready and all the little costs of fixing the house up. What is the time limit on that? On the time cards, I didn't even think about it, to be honest. I would imagine probably a month or 2 at the very least, and then I'll have to announce it on the Indiegogo site, but it's kind of like crossing that bridge when I get there. So I guess, having said that, and thank you, Dan, for kind of keeping me on track, is that I'll probably have a 2-month window. So my advice is, when you get that golden time card and you want the drawing, fill it out ASAP and send it to me. And also, by sending it to me quickly, then I'll know what I have to do, because you know, I don't want to do all 70 of those if I don't have to do 70 drawings. You know what I mean? So if only 30 of you guys send your golden time card back, I'd like to do just 30 drawings. And I'm going to do those live for you guys. And what I'm thinking is, when I get the time card, I'll put it for the camera. I'll have to do this when I get to Texas because my camera isn't set up right now over my drawing board. But I'll get the time card. I'll show you the time card. I'll say your name on the show, and then I'll draw the image for you. And then you'll get to see your Doug image inked up. So that's the plan anyway. So probably a month or two, because if I go too long, it'll be weird, right? Like a year from now, I get a golden time card. It's like, hey, Art, can you draw me a picture? And I'm like, wait, I already moved on since then. Is Chrono Mechanics Retrofit shipping yet? I bought the Ultimate Chrono Mechanics Tier 150. They are shipping. Yeah, so earlier on the show, I was saying that they are going out. Pamela, my wife, who's doing the fulfillment, she is at the post office right now, and she's getting, I think, 80 more books out. So what we're doing, Michael, is we're doing all the book tiers. So we're going to go more methodically, more methodical than we have in the past. So she's going to do all of one, then all the next, and all the next. So she's going to do all the book orders, then all the book orders plus variants. And so I imagine, I don't really know how she's doing it, but the ultimate tier, then she'll send all those out at the same time. So she's trying to be more organized so she can move faster, because what Pamela was doing before, she was going as the orders were coming in, so all in order, because she thought it was more fair that, you know, the first order would get theirs first and second and so on and so on. But we just don't have the luxury of time this outing. So what we're hoping is that we'll be able to get things done faster if we keep them more in order, which is all the just book orders and then so on and so forth. So we're looking at trying to get this stuff done before we book to Texas. So we should have this house sold hopefully within the month. So everything should go out in that time period, if not sooner. She's really working her ass off to get these books out to you guys. So I don't know, give it, you know, 3 weeks. If you haven't got it in 3 weeks, let me know. And also, I'll keep you guys posted on a regular basis on how things are going. But right now, just the book orders are going out, just the single book orders with all the stretch goal goodies, which there are plenty. We have the patches, the Team 9.2 of Sector 7 patches. We have the button, plus Lucky Pick. We have all the time cards. Let me find the ones that, these ones come with the book. So this will come with the book. And then we have, these are the stretch goal cards. So you get the variant covers. So Zen, Doug, and then Caravaggio. And then on the back, they have the creator's name on them. So I think they're really cool. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. So those will go along with everything. So I think I got that covered. Let's see what else you guys got. And then I'm going to show you the T-shirt. I got a T-shirt design. I want to show it to you. No patches. Yeah. Yes, patches. Patches. O'Houlihan. Sweet. Yes, it is sweet. Oh, I almost said that. Patches, we don't need no stinking patches, but you do. You do need patches. You might not know you need patches, but you do. Let me get this, because for some reason, everything's jumping around. Thank you so much, Just a Kid from Brooklyn, $4.99. I do appreciate the super chat. Thank you so very much. Hey, Art, for us aspiring creators, do you recommend an S Corp or LLC? Yes, I do. Especially if you work with other vendors, if you work with artists and things like that, because if they sue you, they can only take what the corporation has. They can't touch your personal assets. So I've always run a studio, Hatchack Studios, and I've had, they're not employees, they're freelancers, but I always ran I was always incorporated, so I could kind of the liability. So if I was to get sued, they could only sue me for what the company had. They couldn't touch my personal assets, and two, you can get tax breaks. So you probably know all this already, but when you file your taxes, you file your corporate taxes, and then you file your personal taxes. So with corporate taxes, I'm a salary. I get a salary from the corporation. So all the money I make doesn't go to me personally. It goes to the corporation, and then I take a salary, and Pamela takes a salary from the corporation, which means I can keep my personal income down and my taxes lower personally, because you tax differently for the corporation. And also the corporation, you can get a lot more write-offs and things like that. So I do, especially if you're going to do heavy volume, just a kid from Brooklyn. So you didn't have to pay me for that advice. I would have given it to you for free, but thank you. I do appreciate it. I don't know what to, it just busted your chops on how pissed you are. I'm pissed? I'm pissed with a smile on my face. I'm pissed drunk, as my British friends say. They don't say drunk, they say pissed. Or piss. Piss? Piss? I don't know. Leroy usually heckles me, but let's see what Leroy has to say. What's this I hear about getting my books? You are getting your books. Where is the book? Where are they? Where are they? They're right here. They're right here. This is yours, Leroy, right here. I'm holding in my hand. This is your book. And we got the work in progress books too, you guys. So those will go out later too. Like I said, we're keeping things in order so we can keep things moving quickly. Well, I'm going to show you the T-shirts. We got Push and Pete. He's got a campaign going on too, Indiegogo. You should go check that out. We've got a 15th anniversary patch available for $6 on Alterna Indiegogo. Go back it today. Peter is a good guy. Peter says looks great. Peter's the one that gave me this publishing company. They're the ones. I think they work with Alterna. Alterna. All right, so I got to find this thing. I don't have it ready, so I'm not gonna. I'm opening another tab, so I won't know what I look like. Wow, it's taking forever to open up. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna find this T-shirt design, and then I'm gonna show you. You guys keep saying, Art, we need T-shirts. Art, we need T-shirts. So I have many in mind to do. But this is the first, and if you guys like it, then what I can do is let me see if I can open them. Oh, I can't. Hold on. Ooh, open them all at the same time. Okay, they should be there. Okay, I got screen and screen. Let me see if I can do this. How do I make this smaller? There we go. All right, screen in screen. So I'm going to put this right over the chat so you guys can't see it, or I can't see the chat. All right, so hopefully you guys can see the whole image. There we go. All right, okay, so I'm going to screen share. So how do I do this? Screen share, boop, screen share, share, and then here. Is this right? No, this is wrong. How did that work? Stop sharing. So I guess I can't do it that way. Let me click this off and do it a different way. So hopefully it's still there. I've never done it this way before. Why is it doing it like this? Okay, there we go. Okay. This is weird. What are you guys seeing? Why is it doing this? Hold on. Let me see. Okay. So I usually do it. This is really strange. Why is it maximize? Okay. So let me see if I can do this again. This is really weird. Okay, screen share, click. For some reason, it's working differently. Screen share, boom. Why is it doing this? Okay, so hopefully you should be seeing my Photoshop. The computer is really being weird. Okay, let me see. I'm going to find my files. I had all this done, but the computer decided to be a wanka. A wanka. Here we go. Let's see if I can open these. So you guys should be seeing the T-shirt. I hope. Okay, so this is the Chrono Mechanics T-shirt. So I had an idea. I think last stream you guys were saying we need T-shirts. So later that night, I was tired, but I just couldn't sleep. So I got up and I put this together really quick in Photoshop. So it's kind of crude, but I like the design. So I cut out the 4 characters from the cover and left the gears and the debris and the logo, and then I put a caution strip behind it. I think it looks really cool. So one of the things I wanted to do if I was going to do T-shirts, so you guys got to let me know if you like this or not. So I wanted to do something that was a little bit more designed versus just the cover, you know, the standard rectangle that's kind of, you know, it looks like those old iron-on from the 70s, you know, on your shirt. So I wanted to do something a little bit more designy. I had some other ideas too. Let me go up a little bigger. Where it's funny, I have the little doodle here. When I go back to the camera, I'll show it to you. I went with the caution strip like across, like horizontal versus vertical, and I thought it looked cool. But then I realized it looks kind of like Charlie Brown's shirt, so I didn't do that. So this would be the front. I'm not sure. I kind of wanted to do the Team 9.2 of Sector 7 design, which is the patch design on the sleeve. So one of the sleeves might have like the one over, like it's our right, the left side sleeve. Put the circle Team 9.2 of Sector 7 patch or like cog, you know, design there. But I have to price these out and see how much they are, because I don't know if they charge more for, like, because this would be the caution strip would go from the top seam on the shoulder all the way down to the end of the shirt. So I don't know if that requires you know, different way of doing it. I don't know anything about shirts. I guess I'm going to have to figure it out and find out. But this is the design at this point. I think it came out really, really cool. So it has the caution strip, and like I said, if it's not too much money, or maybe even if it is, I'll just do it because I think it'll make the shirt look cool, is put that corner Chrono Team 9.2 of Sector 7 cog on the sleeve. But I dig this, man. I showed it to my wife and she loved it too. And so I did up a yellow version, and I thought it would look kind of designy and cool. But what do you guys think? It's kind of cool where the caution strip becomes, you just, excuse me, see the black, but it kind of loses the impact of being a caution strip. Now it just kind of looks like, you know, black stripes on a yellow shirt. So I'm not that crazy about that. So then I tried one that was black. I just like black, like concert shirts. So I thought I'd try one. And this one I'm not crazy about, but I tried it, and you know, you try stuff. But I think the main thing is that you lose the caution strip design, which is this one here. So I don't know, you guys. I'm going to come back. Let me know what you think, and then we're going to get our guest on here if he still wants to come in. Hopefully he does, and hopefully you guys got to see that. The yellow is the worst. Of course, my eyes go right to that. Oh, Leroy likes the yellow, but Leroy likes to mess with my head. He likes to mess with my head. Yellow and blue on everything. We could go with like just a color that's not yellow or black, and that caution strip would work as well. So I'll play with that. Maybe like a light grayish blue or something, just so it's not stark white. Because also I think like stark white, it looks a little iron-on-y, like cheesy. I grew up in the 70s when they did the iron-on T-shirts. In the mall, they actually had like iron-on, like you could pick. It was like those tattoo parlors. They had all these designs on the wall, and then you could pick one, and then they'd iron it on. You'd pick your T-shirt, then they would iron it on. But they were always just like square, like a rectangular shapes that looked like, here you go, here's your T-shirt, you know. Although I did fall in love with the Star Wars, it was the painted Hildebrandt one, so I bugged my parents to get me one. So I did have my iron-on Star Wars T-shirt. But as you get older and then technology changes, you realize that those things weren't and aren't as cool. Orange, maybe. No stripes or strip. It's a printer's nightmare. Ugh. I don't like that, Jasper. I don't like that at all. I don't know what else I would do. I guess I could come up with maybe a big cog shape in the back or something. I kind of agree with you. I didn't want to say anything about the orange. No, this one's less than yellow. Yeah. Leroy says all the finest fans in Comicsgate are tuning into this stream. Oh, cool. Iron-on press. You can still buy those on eBay. That's funny. They were really thick too. Like they were like vinyl or plastic, and they made you sweat. Like I remember as a kid, like sometimes I'd have this like a rectangular shape like rash. Because if you go out in the middle of summer and you sweat, you can't breathe. Like the shirt doesn't breathe right there. It's really weird. Jasper Plan 9 he still has his Tuscan Raider one. Wow. Okay, let's see what Christine says. Gray is a color that looks good on most people, if not black. Yeah. I was thinking, and it's kind of a neutral, so any colors in the scheme won't compete. But it's definitely better than white. White is a little too stark, I think. So maybe I'll work one up with like a light grayish blue or something and see what that looks like. But now I'm a little worried with the whole stripes. Printers not liking stripes. I don't know why stripes would have more trouble. Ooh. Oh my gosh. I'm going to write that down. Kevin, you always have killer ideas. I thought of it a while back, but I needed my memory jogged. Thank you. The detour, we already have the artwork too. We could do that. Yeah. And then we could have the tour dates on the back. So the front could be the artwork. I don't have it here. Do I? No. Oh, it's right there. It's back. It's back there. The artwork is on my wall right there. So on the poster, it has the tour dates under it. But what we could do is we could put the detour planet on the back, and then we could have the dates under that. That would be cool, Kevin. And also, Kevin, my wife has all your artwork packed, and it's pretty much ready to go. I think she's going to try to get that out pretty soon. I saw the box downstairs, so everything's in a like 11 by 17 box. And I do have to run this by you. Maybe I'll do it here because I have the artwork. One of the pages, I'll send you an email, but one of the pages, I think it's the one where Doug is being thrown down. I can find it here. This is riveting for you guys, I know. But Kevin loves it. It's this page right here. It's this one where Doug is getting thrown from that little catwalk. And I think I gave that to a friend years ago. So I believe, because all we found was an 11 by 17 Xerox. And I think we printed that page from the Xerox because we don't have the original anymore. But we found these two pages here, and they're pretty cool. And they rival the Doug one, and they're in the same sequence. This one has a complete team shot in there. So it has Zen, Oot, and Caravaggio. And then there's this one as well. Wow, the camera. So this has got the team in action, and Doug's there. So all four of the characters. So there's Doug and Oot. Oot is power smashing, a time giant. And then you see Doug, and then you see Caravaggio, and then you get to see the three of them, Zen, Oot, and Caravaggio, in the second to the last panel. So this has all four of the characters in action. So like I said, I'll send you an email and let you know. And if you want your money back, we can give you your money back. But those, especially this page right here, this is a pretty killer page. And in some ways, it might even be better than the Doug one. Because that one has a big shot of Doug, but the other stuff is kind of smaller. And this has all four of the characters in good action scenes. So anyways, that's that. I'm going to send my guest the link and see if he still wants to come on. I feel really, really bad. Paste. StreamYard browser, live studio for professionals. Wow, my computer is running really weird. I'm going to close some of these tabs. This is weird. It didn't. I got to send this again. Hold on. Daggone it. Daggone it. Okay, let's see. Maybe if I hit refresh. I don't think the link worked. Hold on. Ah, there it goes. The new one worked. Cool, cool. So he should be in here soon. And then we'll get to change the channel. We're going a different direction. And yeah, so yeah, Kevin, I'll send you an email, and you can let me know what you want to do. I like art streams. Yeah, because art's all over the place. You could do a strip on the sleeve. But if they can't do strips, oh, maybe this is just a different idea in lieu of not being able to do that. I like that. I like that idea. Just around like the end here. That could be cool. Yeah, I wonder how much it would. You'd probably have to do both sides though. So I don't know if that would be more of a pain in the butt because it'd have to wrap the entire arm. But I'll look into all these things. It's a great design idea though. So I do like that that idea. So thank you, Terra Wombat. I think the Chrono, the black and white concept, I was able to come up with some cool graphics. like when I came up with this, I thought like, oh man, that really does, hammer what the concept is and everything. It makes a good graphic and patches and stuff like that. And then the MI10 patch too, which I might have here. I could show it to you. Where are you, Patches? Patches O'Houlihan. I don't have it here. That's weird. I usually have my stash here. Oh, there it is. Let me see. There you are. Okay. So when I came up with the graphic for this, I think it looks really, really cool. So the MI6 Anti-Robotics Division, this is from Black and White. And so this is like Secret Service, British Secret Service. It's a division. And then here's the patch. And so like, I don't know. I think I've been really lucky because I never really think of myself as a designer with logos and stuff like that. But I think those things came out pretty cool. And then Chrono has a pretty inventive logo, I think. And then it has a lot of, you can use cogs, you can use tools, you can use, caution strips. You can use those little, what are those things called that you put out, those caution, oh my gosh, what the hell are they called? That they put in the road, those orange cones, I guess they're called. They're just called cones. Caution cones. You can put some caution cones. The page where Doug is a page where Doug is throwing down. He is being thrown down. He is being thrown down off the catwalk. Put a world tour dates on the back. Indeedy do. That's what I will do. All right, I see somebody waiting, and this has been a long time coming. So, Mr. E, what is up, Drew? We have no Drew voice.
Great.
Oh, there we go.
So, thanks for having me, Art. How you doing, man?
Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. It is insane here. I'm gonna get some water in me. I'm gonna hydrate myself.
That's great. So, I'd hate to see you dehydrate.
Yeah, with all the talking I'm doing. Does talking dehydrate you? I guess it could.
Yeah, it does. Most activity dehydrates you, but talking, when you're expelling all that air, everything you say has moisture in it, so you slowly release moisture as more you talk.
Son of a bitch. Well, the backstory to this, and I'm glad we finally made this happen, and I feel so bad, is I think we had 2 prior live streams scheduled, and I flaked out on both of those, so I apologize.
It's totally cool, man. I'm happy to get on here, hang out with you, talk about my book a little bit. I'm busting my ass trying to make this campaign, successful. It's weird because, on my chapter 1 campaign, I did that executive producer tier, right? So people could back all the chapters up front. You know what I mean? But so like all those people who backed then are not backing the chapter now. So there's posters and stuff on there, but they're not all like interested in all that. So it's just a challenge, and it's like my numbers aren't, I don't charge as much for my chapters as people would for like a 48-page perfect bound graphic novel. They charge $25 plus $10 shipping. Whereas I'm charging $15 because it's only a 24-page floppy and it doesn't cost that much to ship. You know what I mean? So, it's just a floppy. So I'm charging $15 and that includes the shipping.
Wait, you have the book there?
Oh, this is chapter 1. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hold it up and then we can. So if you guys don't know, Drew has a book and a concept called Captain Love.
Yeah.
And so this is serialized, and we're going to talk for the next hour or so about Captain Love and Drew's love for Captain Love and the world's love for Captain Love. There's a lot of love in this.
So, and this is the first book. This one here is a 72-page graphic novel, And then this is chapter 1, which is the first of the actual series. Book 1's kind of more of a backstory. It's kind of like issue 0, volume 1, however you want to, analyze that in your mind. So this one's a graphic novel format, never came in floppies, only graphic novel format. And this one is coming in floppies. And then when all 6 chapters.
Oh, shit.
When all 6 chapters are done of this arc, that'll be released in a graphic novel called Rise of the Pirate King. That's why it's, Rise of the Pirate King chapters. And then the next book, which I'm not revealing the title yet, will be obviously issue 7 for chapter 1. And then I'll just continue to do that with the books so that they're like story arcs within story arcs. You know what I mean? So
the campaign you have going right now is Rise of the Pirates, right?
It's Rise of the Pirate King chapter 2, which is basically, like Captain Love issue 2.
Okay, well let's go there so we can give people context. And I think words are words, but images are better. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, the campaign's doing really good. We could always do better, but it's doing pretty good. So hopefully my computer's working right. So can you see this?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to play the video, which should do some heavy lifting for us. I love your Mr. E Comics logo, by the way. That looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Trish, and I'm the author of the Captain Love series. I'll tell you all about the second book, Rise of the Pirate King. Yeah, that's a thing. And in this book, you're gonna get everything that you would expect from Captain Love. Yeah, you bet. And I'm blessed enough to be able to use an amazing creative team. If you know what I mean, it feels like the universe is giving and love to the rescue. And it seems like nothing will be right again.
Love to the rescue.
Captain Love
To the rescue.
Now, Captain Love is a space trucker and a former war hero. There's even a legend that he may be immortal. He's accompanied by his fate, he's a living AI. Yes, I said immortal. And he cannot die. And it feels like the universe is giving love
To the rescue.
And it seems like nothing will be right again. Love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. Oh yeah. In this book, you'll get space pirates, sexy girls, and science monks. Pretty bar fights, space battles, and a lot of awesome junk. There's nudity and violence and swearing and things, so there's nothing mature. I mean, it's not made for children, and you feel like the universe is giving, and there'll be love to the rescue. And it seems like nothing will be right again. There'll be love to the rescue. Captain 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 Love to the rescue.
Thank you for your time. Please back Captain Love and help me share this character with the whole world. And if you're not too busy, like and share this video and help me spread the love. Stay awesome.
Wow, that video is so cool, man. I got to come back. I got to congratulate you personally. That thing is so good. And if people don't know, that's you, right?
That is me. That is me. That is all me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally me. A lot of people are like, they didn't realize that, I mean, there's a lot of talent in CG, and some of us are musicians and songwriters.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I just wanted to come back and give you kudos on that, because that is very toe tapping, and that hook is good.
Thank
Captain
you.
Love to the rescue. Who doesn't like that? I mean, you
I
have to
actually, I haven't heard anybody say they don't like it, other than just the regular like trolling kind of stuff that I see in the chat occasionally. But
yeah, there's always going to be those people.
right.
We don't pay attention to those people.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's go. We're going to show this campaign to the world and bring some love.
Yeah. So so Captain Love, he's a space trucker and former war hero, as it says in the song. The important things on this campaign to remember is that this is chapter 2, right? So if you have not had chapter 1 or volume 1, the first featured tier covers that for you. You can get them all together, and you can save yourself roughly $15 by getting them all together.
Wow.
Yeah, because if you were to buy them individually, it would cost you probably another $15, then 40. So you got to, because of the shipping, because they'd be shipped individually or bought individually to be shipped individually. So if you buy them all together, you save a lot of money. And then obviously you can get chapter 2 by itself. You can get chapter 2 signed. If you already have volume 1, you can get chapter 1 and 2. If you don't want to start with volume 1, which is the backstory, and you just want to start with the adventures, obviously you can do that. So whatever your choice. The Vinny Tartamella exclusive. Now for volume 1, he did a variant cover for that. That there is 6 of those left. There were 100 printed, so that technically is the most exclusive book in my entire arsenal at this point. And there will never be a.
There is the cover in here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. And that book is also, it's already printed. They're already here. There was 100 of them made.
You want me to come back?
Yeah, you can come back to it. Yeah, see, there it is right here. There's 100 of them made. It's beautiful, beautiful artwork. It's gorgeous. Yeah, and so there's 6 of those left. Just so anybody's interested, if you want to get one of those rare Captain Love books, that's it. We're down to the last 6 on that.
Yeah, so there were only 10 to begin with, so you guys get on.
There were only 10 on this campaign. There was only 100 printed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then if you keep going down a little bit, there's the posters, and there's T-shirts, and then you can see those below. So you can see that there's a tier for each T-shirt. There's a tier for poster packages, and then there's if you don't like either of these preset packages, which the preset packages haven't been that popular, there is the custom ones. Like underneath that, you see that there's actually, you can choose whichever 3 you want. If you want the same one 3 times, that's available right there. If you want to custom pick your posters, then you can get all 6 posters, or you can get all the posters and shirts on a tier, and then you can get everything. So you can get all the posters, all the shirts, and all the books on one of the tiers here. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Plus, a lot of stuff is add-ons. So if you get one of these tiers, you can find add-ons for a lot of the stuff that you're looking for. So
if people don't know what add-ons are, those are when they're checking out, right? Their suggestions, and those are what the add-ons are.
Right. And so that's the Vinny poster right there. That first one. And then underneath that, which is the same as the cover, so that we actually took the same artwork because it was so awesome, and he did it, 600 DPI, 11 by 17. So, I mean, obviously it was good to use as a poster as well. So we did a poster. It was on the chapter 1 campaign, and it went over really, really well. So we decided to do more posters because people were popular. So that was Andrew Barmita's one. And this one here is the cover art from chapter 2 by Henry Ponciato. So this is by the cover artist. And this is Love and Jean, and then this is Jean by itself. Now, this one here is actually pretty cool because this is the first depiction of Jean by herself other than her trading card.
Uh-huh.
So this is actually like, not only is it like, going to be like a collector style poster, but I am so stoked on how this turned out. This is like one of my favorite art pieces from the Captain Love thing so far. So,
yeah, it's a nice, clean design. Like it's almost perfect in design, because it's like to get something that's this bold and this simple. And when I say simple, I don't mean that it's like, it's like not good. I mean it like these are hard to come up with, just like really simple, bold designs like this. It's almost tougher to come up with this kind of design than the norm. So I applaud this, man. I think it looks great. It's a perfect design. The drawing is amazing. She looks hot. And I like the planet in the background with the space. It's really, really well designed.
Yeah, I'm extremely thrilled with it. Henry's artwork impresses the heck out of me. I definitely have been talking to him about how I can work with him more, because yeah, he does amazing work. He did the cover, and then I was like, okay, we'll do this, and can you do this and do this? I had him do some promo designs for Love and stuff. So it's, yeah, he is extremely talented. I really like the way he draws the stuff from my universe. So, I'm really stoked with that. Now this one is Peter Gilmore did a James Bond themed take on Captain Love, even went a little tongue in cheek with the title From Venus with Love.
I like that. That's cool. There's a little nudity. I like that too.
There's a tiny bit, yeah.
Get it? A tiny bit? Because she's really tiny on the poster. Okay. Exactly. Those are the jokes, people.
And then this one is by Pat Maxton. I actually have a colored version of this. I just haven't uploaded it yet. I keep, I get so distracted by everything I got to do within the day. I keep forgetting to go back and just change this picture out with a colored version. So this will be colored. It's not going to be black and white. It's by Pat Maxton. People know him as Doodle Bags. He drew Vestige 2. He does excellent work. He does excellent work. In fact, I will be working with him also on another project. I've been having, I mean, Captain Love is not, I'm not making, the $50,000 a book or anything like that, but as far as indie books go, it is successful. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely continuing the series. This one's going on forever, but I've decided to make another series that's completely unassociated to Captain Love, like a whole nother series. I have an idea that I've been sitting for a while, and we've
a spin-off, so it'll be the same universe, but
no, completely different universe, completely different time zone, completely different characters. They don't even intersect at all. I mean, I might have Captain Love at some point reading the other one, you know what I mean, because it happened in the past. So you know what I mean, but I don't know if I'll do that. I mean, I might make some kind of connection like that at some point, but as far as the series go, they're completely different series. And so it's an aggressive thing, but I've been talking, and I'm going to have Pat do the illustrations for that series. So it's because he does such great work, and he's really easy to work with. So I'm going to be using him for that. So, but that's still top secret as far as the title and the subject matter and stuff like that. But that will be revealed. What that will be near the end of December, beginning of January. That will be the big reveal on that. For anybody who's interested, anybody who loves the kind of work that I produce, because you're going to get high quality artwork, good story, excellent print, and an amazing price for an indie comic when you get them from me. So that's stuff that you can guarantee. I try to give people irresistible product and deal.
Well, I think it is irresistible. This looks great. You have 4 days left, so people, get on this. There's a whole universe here. There's 3 books that you could get. There's a lot of reading. There's a lot of entertainment here, and the featured tier is only $40. You can get all 3 of the books. Right. So I think that's fantastic. So everybody, Drew's a great guy. Has been doing this for a while. Got a lot of product out there. He's Comicsgate, and he's a really talented. He's a talented mofo, as they say. And so, yeah, go check it out. I'm sure there's something here for you to pick up.
I have a question for you, Art. Now, everybody who does, I'm sure everybody knows because we're on your channel, but Art is a legend in the industry. He really is. He makes faces, and he's really humble, and he's a super cool dude. You know what I mean? But he is a legend. And it's funny because I was at my local comic book store, and I was talking about how we were going to do a live stream. I was going to be on your channel live stream. And he's all like, Art T-Bear? He's So you don't know Archie Bear. I'm like, yeah, I know Archie. You know what I mean? It was just really funny how that went down. And it's like, just, yeah, to comic book store owners, they know who you are. They know your name, and you are legendary status. So that is, so there's no doubt Art's a legend.
In my own mind.
Hey, are you, so did you hear that they're doing LA Comic-Con this year?
Well, I just want to back up and thank you for the kind words. That's very, very nice, Drew. I probably won't be here, actually. I'm moving to Texas. So when is the LA Comic-Con?
It's December 11th, 12th, and 13th.
I might be here. I
got myself a small press booth, and I'm gonna be trying to make a big noise with Captain Love and collect as many email addresses as I possibly can.
That's the one over by the shrine? Is that?
It's gonna be at the LA Convention Center.
Okay.
Yeah. They got the whole convention center for it this time. So.
Okay.
And it's bigger. It's supposedly bigger than the San Diego Comic-Con, because which blows my mind, because San Diego is like supposed to be the biggest Comic-Con, but because there was no San Diego Comic-Con, they expect this to be bigger than San Diego ever was. And so this is supposedly anybody who's going to this doesn't really know what to expect. You know what I mean? Because anything can happen between now and then. Hopefully they're not going to shut it down and cancel it. You know what I mean? That would be a disaster. But as long as they don't cancel it, I'm going to be sitting there with a table full of goodies. I don't
know how they're going to pull this off, because the amusement parks in Southern California aren't even open. That's
true. They aren't. Yes.
So I don't know how they're going to pull this off.
Well, they have it set to where they're going to be doing, instead of it being 3-day ticket, you buy a ticket and you get all 3 days. It looks like the tickets are like time assigned. So you get like half a day for each of the days. You know what I mean? As far as the tickets, like the guests, because they have it in time blocks. As far as...
So they only have so many people in the building at any particular time.
Yes. So it's actually going to be a more intimate experience with the same kind of head count.
This is going to be a nightmare to execute, man.
Yeah, it really is. It really, really is. It's going to be insane. It's going to be a heck of an experience,
Based on what you just told me, I think I'm going to stay away even if I'm still in California. I could just see, oh my gosh, people getting pissed. The lines outside are going to be nuts. People waiting to get in for time blocks and stuff.
I have no idea. I mean, how it's going to go. I mean, I think about like the panels and the signings and how that's going to go over, because you think about the lines that exist for someone to have, a famous signing. You know what I mean? That line is just forever. And
really, at this point, I couldn't make a clear, decisive decision on which way it would go, because either it's not going to be down the middle. I don't think it's going to either be a bust or it's going to be like a billion people there. You know what I mean? Because I could see people not going just because it sounds like, to somebody like me, like it's going to be a nightmare. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just logistically. Because if a lot of people do go, that's over by the what is the center? What is like where the Lakers play? I forget what that's called.
The Staples Center, isn't it what it is?
Staples Center. Yeah. And sometimes parking is a bitch.
Yeah, they actually have parking assigned for us as far as but the rest of the people, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, LA parking is a nightmare. So yeah, there's probably some big, huge parking garage right there or something, I'm sure. So yeah.
So you're gonna drive in every day, or?
No, I can't drive in every day. I'm gonna have to get a hotel room, because I mean, I could technically drive in every day, but the risk factor of making that, because it's 3.5 hours from Fresno to LA, with traffic figured, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So
get the hotel. I was gonna recommend it even if you live closer, because that's the way I would do WonderCon if I was to do WonderCon again. And the only reason I do WonderCon is because my wife could drive up about a block from WonderCon. She drops me off at like a 7-Eleven, and then I walk the rest of the way to the show.
Right.
Because parking is an absolute nightmare. And so a lot of artists, they just get hotels and then they just walk to the show.
Right.
So I didn't have my wife to drop me off. That's what I would do. So I was going to recommend the same thing for you to get a hotel, and then, you know, you could walk into the show every day.
Yeah, that's my plan. There is an absolute mess of hotels around there, and there's a lot of availability because there's nothing else going on.
Right.
Which
yeah,
I'm also
nothing else going on.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of excited about one element of this, because I'm actually aware that because there have been no conventions or anything, there's a lot of people in all the industries, movies, you know, like Netflix series, you know, Hulu, all these people, video game industries, other publishing companies, all this, there's small distribution companies. All these people out here have been working without cons on the West Coast. You know what I mean? So they're going to be like under the gun to deliver on this con. You know what I mean? So that kind of puts me in a neat position as small press, because I'll have a nice, beautiful display. They'll probably never heard of Captain Love before. They'll come up and they'll be like, "Wow, what's this about?" You know what I mean? And I'll just be like ready to slam them up with stuff. And, you know, I mean, I would love for something to come out of it. I mean, obviously there's no guarantees, you know, it'd be stupid to count on it, you know, but the opportunity is better this time than ever before, because of the extra intimacy at the location, and because they're under the gun to deliver. So, you know, it's probably going to be like the best chance ever to have something happen. You know, some kind of notice.
Well, something's going to happen. I think this thing's going to make headline news, man, because just opening is going to make headline news. Like, this is going to be the biggest story come out of California, especially if this opens before the parks, like, you know, Disney and Knott's Berry Farm and Universal Studios. Man, there's going to be some pissed off people.
Isn't Universal Studios open though?
I think their walks are open. Like they have like these like shop areas. So Disney
the City Walk. Yeah, the City Walk is open.
Walk is open. The Disney Walk is open, and I think the shopping area at Knott's is open, because I guess they can regulate people a little bit better.
Right. But none of the rides, because of the long lines and waits and stuff.
Apparently they're doing it in Florida, but I guess California is different for some reason. But yeah, I want to Deltaverse Comics. Thank you so much for the $2. Art, please tell me which city in Texas. There are several cities, but I actually have something. There's one house in particular, and it's in where is it? Wait a minute, I just had it. Oh, here it is. It's in Cypress. So this is Cypress, Texas here.
Wow, that's a gorgeous house.
Yeah, so this is the house that we're kind of in love with at this point. And if you look at the garage, above the garage, there's a whole nother house there. So we're thinking the reason we like this is because our daughter, my wife and I's daughter, will have her own place.
So like a little apartment studio in the
it's pretty substantial, and it's attached and detached at the same time from the house. So yeah, this is the house that we're kind of in love with at this point.
That's gorgeous, man. That's a beautiful house.
Yeah. So this is the house that's on top of the garage. So they have it set up as a screening room at this point.
Right.
But this could be a living area, you know, like a living room for her. And where the popcorn machine is, this red thing in the back, she wants to set it up with her easel so she can paint. And then there's its own bathroom, and it's attached to a bedroom. So
yeah, that little house above the garage is nicer than the house I live in.
So yeah, that's the plan at this point anyway. So we have awesome. Yeah, so we have that. So thank you so much, Deltaverse. And then the other two places we really love is it's called the Woodlands, and Spring, Texas. And I like Spring a lot and the Woodlands. So if we could get in that area, I think I'd like it more than Cypress. Cypress is kind of in between, like the Woodlands is more southeast, so it's more green. Like you probably, because you're more Northern California, you have bigger trees and stuff. But
Yeah.
Southern California, you could have a 50-year-old, 100-year-old tree and it'd be like 50 feet tall. You know what I mean? That's it. But where it rains and stuff like that, you have like major trees. So I like the Woodlands and Spring because it's more green. There's big trees, and I want to live somewhere that's different than Southern California, where everything's brown and gray. And then Cypress is somewhere in between. It's like part of Cypress is dry, and then part of it's kind of wooded. So it's kind of like in between, like, because Texas is so big. There's kind of like like the western Texas, that's all like desert and stuff. And then there's kind of the southern side as well, which is more kind of like Florida almost, where it's very wooded. It rains, stuff.
Yeah,
like
the Gulf side is very lush. The Gulf side, and then the other side, the opposite side, the west side is the more drier side. It's what's Mexico? New Mexico, is that what it borders Texas right there?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. So yeah, there's the two climates. Well, there's probably all the in between as well, just because of how big the state is. But we don't want to get too close to the coast. Was there hurricanes?
Yeah, the hurricane issues. You don't want to.
Yeah. We're still kind of like the Woodlands and those areas that we like. There still are hurricanes that go through there. But
well, the deeper you are into mass foliage, the less that anything like major winds are going to get to you, because it breaks up before it can get to you. I mean, you'll get a lot of moisture, you'll get a lot of rain, but you probably
flooding, maybe. Yeah.
That's the one thing you have to think about is your elevation. When you're that's always important, is to know your elevation, because if you could feel like you're in a flat land and actually be 1,000 feet below sea level, and then boom, you're flooded. Or you could be same thing, feel like you're flat land and be above sea level, and then you're just not even close to a risk of flood. So right.
Yeah, we've been lucky because well, actually I can't say that. We are higher elevation for Southern California, so we're in like Yorba Linda, Anaheim Hills, the Corona area. So I mean, I'm looking out at Mount Baldy right now.
It's like 3,000 feet there, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty high. But the thing is, we get the fires, and it's so weird. Like the fires will ransack the hillside, and then if we get big rains the next season, because we have fire season, which we're in right now, and then of course, the winter months, then we get the rains. So if the hills get obliterated from the fires, there's no foliage, there's nothing to keep the rain from
washing the
soil. And and so we can get massive hillslides too. So we're kind of used to like natural disasters. So the one thing we haven't encountered, we sort of did with flooding, but in a weird way, it's not like the water rises, just the whole hillside comes into the property,
Right. Well, that's one of the things that when you're in a hilly area, like the water will build up somewhere, you know what I mean? Like a little natural pond, and then that will break because there'll be a buildup of foliage or something that it was trapping it, and then the water pressure will break and it release all of that down a hillside or down a road. I don't know if you know where the up here in the north where the redwoods are. There's a near Santa Cruz, deep in though. We were up at a campsite out there. It was really, really, really rainy. It wasn't supposed to rain, but it just like was coming down hard. And we're just in the campsite. We're just doing our thing, and we hear this noise. Like it sounds like a rumble. You know what I mean? Like almost like a marching army or something. And then, sure enough, this huge just river of water comes coming through the trees with all kinds of stuff, and it's just like flowing down the roads. You know what I mean? It's just it turned the roads into a river. I was just tripping on that.
Yeah, what we have is kind of like what you were saying, but they call it clay. It's a clay soil. So when it's dry, it's hard as a rock. Like you can hit it with a hammer. That's what they make pots, like the natives and stuff, like the native people to America.
That's where the original. That's the the original
Americans. Yeah, and so but when it gets wet, it's like oil. So if you have like a vein of that soil in a hill, and then it rains enough and it saturates, that's when you get the compromise, because it could be deep within the soil, the hill, and then water gets down far enough, it'll compromise it, and then you'll just have pieces just slide off right. Yeah, so we've had that. So some people are helping me out here. They say that Houston, I'm from Houston. I can tell you that the Woodlands is highly liberal, last I checked, and Houston has the worst humidity, lots of flooding, and traffic is hour to 2 hours twice a day. Yeah. I heard that the city of Houston's a mess.
Houston's a nightmare. It's from the last time I was in Houston, it was actually worse than LA, and I was tripping on that. I was what this is supposed to be Texas. Why is this like the busiest town in the world? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would not be going into Texas or into Houston at all. Houston gets flooded. Cypress is near Houston. It's above Houston, though. So Cypress is slightly above and over towards the west. So Cypress is a little bit further away. And then also the Woodlands and Spring are above Houston. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin's nice, but it's I don't know. I like the area, but I don't really like the houses that much.
Austin's like one of those. Isn't Austin, Texas, one of those areas where they make you build to suit their presentation? I know that a lot of people didn't. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't like Austin, like choose to not live there because they're like forced to have the Spanish Mission look.
Yeah, I like Austin. I keep it weird in Austin. All that stuff is fun, but I just found like the houses and the money doesn't go quite as far, just as far as purchasing power there. And also it's the climate's like this, and I kind of want to get away from, like there's also San Antonio. They're kind of hilly and there is some wooded areas, but it's kind of like Southern California. It's not lush. Like I want like a different climate, and I know it might flood, but I'm probably going to take that chance. And Michael Bancroft, you know who Michael is?
Oh yeah, of course.
His 5-year plan is to buy a house next to RT Bear's Ready to Be a Texan. Hell yeah, brother! There is more the merrier. It is a huge state. There's plenty of room there.
And the Lucent looks amazing. I can't wait until it comes out. You know what I mean? That looks. I mean, his backgrounds, his little cityscapes he draws are just so impressive. I'm always just like, whenever I see his project.
Yeah. He did one that was a library or something like that with one of the characters floating like in a what do they call those? I forget those kind of lotus position or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really, really cool. Like his eye for detail is nuts.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist. It's crazy is there's so many amazing artists. It's like it blows my mind how many people in this community are just extremely talented. I mean, we somebody with a lot of money and a lot of connection needs to just harness all this community talent and become a millionaire, because you know what I mean? There is so much, just like so many of us that are just doing it on the small scale, the best that we can. And if it's like, it blows my mind that it hasn't happened already. You know what I mean? Because, that it's when you have that much abundant of talent, that's so there's so much of it that it's begun to organize itself. You know what I mean? That's the time where you can see as a businessman, okay, there is an actual business opportunity here. If I could organize somehow this, business model, this could be, you know, a lush of constant cash flow. But
yeah, what I would like to see is I would like to. I don't want like organization like as a publishing company or anything like that. But what I would like to see, and it's already happening, is just sharing printing knowledge, finding good vendors to partner with, shipping prices, fulfillment, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. Because what I would like is, and this is to anybody that can organize this, is if we could get fulfillment stations or centers. I think that John Malin might be doing something like that right now. That we can basically have our books shipped to, and then they can fulfill it, because fulfillment does take a lot of time and a lot of energy. So I would like to spend, like, my goal is to spend less and less time with just like more administrative stuff and more time to promote and to draw, because that's where my heart's at. That's where I really want to be. But I do understand at the same time, like what most of us are doing is we're building an infrastructure, you know, from scratch, like, because no one's really done this to the extent that we're doing it. And I mean, there's been a few people, but not, you know, like on this kind of level. There's a lot of comics gators out there, and try to organize and build an infrastructure that then we can all reap the rewards of down the line. You know what I mean? So that's in place. Then it's just a matter of doing your book, plug it in, and then have it go. But not in the same way of like Image Comics or small publishing, more where we're all independent and we can choose to partner with this person or that person or whatever.
Yeah, I would love to see somebody come in and be more of like an indie comic distributor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like, and maybe they, you know, understand that, you know, that there's all the challenges, right? So like if this was like, okay, so instead of it being a publisher who wants to control your product or label your product under their brand or whatever, you know what I mean? They come in as a distributor who has money to make sure that if your book is successful, you know what I mean, and looks good, they can help you take it to the next level and get it out into, you know, places like if it's a graphic novel, I mean, there's Random, you know, Penguin Random House, you know, there's, you know, there are comic book stores that'll take it. There's actual all kinds of, you know, places, you know, these people can set up like Alliance Arts did this thing with Walmart, you know what I mean? I mean, there's like opportunities like that across the board if you can deliver a consistent quality of indie comic, you know what I mean? And a lot of us have proven that we can deliver a consistent quality of indie comic.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that happen. So
yeah, let's see what Terra Wombat crowdfund buying one of those soon to be bankrupt publishers and their assets. Yeah, I would like to. I was a little bit outspoken the other day on pontificators, and I don't take it back. I really don't want to see organized publishers using these platforms, Indiegogo or Kickstarter. I think they should be for people like us, and we should try to organize and try to conduct our business in a way that isn't like theirs. And so far, it's nothing like theirs, and they're trying to emulate ours. But I'm hoping that they don't.
Well, it's ridiculous that they would even try. I mean, it's ridiculous that they would even try, because the whole publisher model is built around funding the book from the beginning. You know what I mean? The publisher says, okay, you know what? I'm putting up the money as the publisher to pay for the production of the book, and you know, a little bit of money in your pocket, hopefully, like that. And then as the book sells, you have a deal to make more money as it exists. That would make sense why you would work with a publisher, so that you can get it done. Now, if that same publisher is going to a crowdfunding thing so that the people are backing the book ahead of time, that is no. The artist should be going to the crowdfunding and getting it done, because if the publisher is doing that, it kind of taints the whole thing. You know what I mean? It just taints it.
Yeah, I think the spirit gets lost, and also I'm kind of getting to the point where I feel like I don't want to preface things with apologies anymore. But Marvel is owned by Disney. If they can't sell a comic book, then quite frankly, F you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have those kind of resources.
Mhm.
and I still sell comics.
Right.
Ethan Van Sciver doesn't have those resources. And he made $1 million in a campaign. There are other people that have done the same. So the thing is, this is in lieu of those things. Those are
Right.
in lieu of having, a major corporation behind us. DC is Warner Brothers. Even something like Dark Horse has movie ties, and they have bigger pockets that are behind them.
That is
as
correct.
well. And so the thing is, build that. That's your platform. You built that, and if you killed it, then that's on you, man, because I have 35 years invested, and I tried to give you good products so you could sell. You know what I mean? So if you couldn't make it work, then that's on you. But at this point, I don't want to be part of that world anymore. I want to be part of this independent. So I don't want this arena to become that. I think that's my biggest fear. I don't want it to become Marvel or DC Comics. There have been people that said they won't do it. If there's money in it, they'll do it. Trust.
Yeah, no, I can see them doing it. I can see them seeing, like I can see them seeing like the avenue being like, okay, well we can do this, and then we don't have to invest the money that we're investing, ahead of time on this, and we can go, direct to consumer and bypass this, and then after the crowdfund, after everything's made, and it's like they could do the approach like that. But the thing is like, what does it say about Disney that they got to go crowdfunding? You know what I mean? This is Disney. I crowdfund because I don't have money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't have, I crowdfund because, what got me started into this whole crowdfunding thing, what made me even start looking for it, is I produced the Captain Love book out of my own pocket. I spent a shitload of money producing a 72-page graphic novel all on my own, right? Out of my own pocket, blood, sweat, and tears. Nobody was there to help me. Did it all by myself, right? That is murderous. Anybody who's ever tried knows how hard and how expensive that is. 72 pages, well, you're paying an illustrator, paying a colorist. That is not cheap. It is hard. And
right.
then and so I did that, and then I was promised by another person who was going to, they even did a letter of intent and all that kind of stuff. They were supposed to invest enough money to where I could produce enough product and do the marketing and distribution through Diamond. That was the game plan from the beginning.
Right.
Which my book is good enough to do that. Problem is, I don't have the funds to do that on a regular market. And kind of in a way, I'm kind of glad that it didn't, because when all the comic
and also they take 20%, like Diamond takes 20%. Let me take this, because I think Sheldon has a good point here. Good news is small business always finds new ways to pop up and excel. So yeah, I always thought, like, I like music, obviously you do too, and I think it was Prince and even Bowie said like the industry isn't going to save itself. It's going to be people that go independent, try things differently, and I think both Bowie and Prince, R.I.P. you guys, they were both trying to do things independently from the publishing companies and stuff like that. So the thing is, I think that's where change is going to take place, and that is what is happening. But it doesn't stop those guys from still looking and going, oh, well, maybe we should be over here or we should be over there. I'll tell you, once the kid gloves comes off, and once they stop treating retailers with reverence and caring about retailers, I'm talking about retailers like mom and pop comic book shops, it's done. Because because once they don't care about those guys, then they're going to do whatever the hell they want. You know what I mean? And hopefully they try to expand as far as other retail outlets.
Yeah.
But I sure hope that they treat those mom and pop comic shops with respect, because those guys were in the trenches when nobody else was. And I think the reason Marvel and DC both have been and didn't make change prior is, one, there wasn't a pandemic and a lockdown, so that kind of pushes it, and the market is at an all-time low. But I think also that like that saying, the best time to kick somebody is when they're down.
Mhm.
So I think retailers like comic shops are down right now. So I think this is the time that Marvel and DC are going to not so much kick them. I don't think that it's out of malice or anger, but I think they're definitely going to pull. Like if there's a time to start pulling allegiance from them, this is the time. And they're
didn't DC already do that? They just started a whole new thing where they basically gave the middle finger to Diamond, and then and I know that I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know there's been talks about it because obviously being in California, we all know people that work with Disney. You know what I mean? And I've heard that Disney is kicking around the idea of taking comics out of the LCSs and putting them in the Disney stores.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an either or. That's one of the biggest problems I had with the comic industry for years, is it becomes an either or. It shouldn't be. It should be all these things.
Yeah.
You should want your product in as many venues as you possibly can. And I'll tell you right now, if there's any retailer, comic book shops, whatever, and you want original product, I'm sure if you contacted Drew, he would gladly ship you out Captain Love books. If you contacted me, I would gladly send you out black and white books, Chronome Mechanics books, because why not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's another avenue, and if we can support you guys because you've been there and supported us all these years, then we'll do that.
Yeah, I would love to have a direct to retailer set up, because I would ship out books on the regular. I have books to ship. I have books. That's not a question.
The thing is, I think that's like Alterna's doing that right now, direct to comic shops, and he's kind of establishing a mailing list, if you with different retailers that are interested in these independent projects. And oh my gosh, could you imagine? I mean, everything takes time, but in 5 years, if this keeps building, we could be the new paradigm that supports these comic book shops. You know what I mean?
That's very true. Especially if we can come up with some, if we can solve some of the issues. Like the first big issue is price point. We lose easily 100,000 to 200,000 buyers on price point. I know, because I get emails regularly through Facebook, people contacting me saying, look, dude, where can I get your book in a store? This is too expensive for a comic book for me. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to pay this much for a book. And it's like, I understand that. So it's like, I'm like, I try to work with them, you know what I mean? Whatever I can. If they contact me directly, I try to figure out, obviously you see, I price my stuff as low as I possibly can, you know what I mean? On my campaign, I try to keep it as like, I need, this is what I need so that I can keep it going. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's like, I could discount for a retailer if they want to buy in bulk. You know what I mean? I could give them a big fat discount, right?
Well, we can also, like, the alternative business model is you can do, if you get enough orders. That's why, like, how we were talking about people that can organize things. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what Peter's doing. Peter's organizing, because if he can get enough retailers to order like 10 copies each or whatever it is, then he can in turn go to you, Drew, and say, I have 200 orders, 200 books. And then you could go to your vendor and print like a newsprint version, or because we don't want to compete with our Indiegogos either, because these crowdfund books, these are bells and whistles books. These are beautiful, gorgeous, one of a kind, printed books. So there's that. So that's kind of the red carpet. We roll out the red carpet. We promote for 2 months the book. We have parties. We do all that stuff to try to get eyes on the book, and then we distribute the book. We fulfill the book, but we can also do a newsprint book that's at a lower price point that becomes more for the mass market.
Yeah.
And
well, This is what I was thinking. So like if like somebody was able to, again, this takes a company with money. None of us could just start this without money. But a company with money could easily sit there and say, okay, you know what? I can establish a relationship with all these, retail stores. You know what I mean? That, both on the graphic novel level and on the monthly floppies, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. Could establish a relationship, and then, right, instead of it being I'm a publisher who has all these things and you can rely on me because I'm a publisher, you just become like a distribution brand that everything that you bring through is going to be of a certain kind of quality and caliber. Like you're just not going to have just any indie comic. You're going to have indie comics that, deserve to be on shelves. And
Right.
so so in a way, you become a respected distribution. So anybody that you are distributing, which would then, that would change the whole crowdfunding business on top of itself, because we're crowdfunding the production of these things. But then we'd be guaranteed, if we do a good book, if we're a good producer, we would know that we would be able to, lock out probably 100, 200 books, 300 books. I mean, in all reality, I mean, at the time before the pandemic, you could, what was it? You could guarantee that a new series would sell at least 5,000 copies, you know what I mean? Out to the, as long as it was promoted properly, guarantee that. And sometimes you could do 10, 15, depending on how well you promote and how well it looks ahead of time. You know what I mean? So it's like, you could gauge this kind of stuff as a businessman, you know what I mean? And easily, like, our campaigns would be so much bigger out the gate, you know what I mean? Because we would be able to like put more books out, right? Because we would know we'd be selling them more down after the fact. And then obviously those people who got those books, we could put contact information, our own websites, how to get our, email. And then we could do a combination of bigger campaigns, more direct sale. But then people also who couldn't get the books directly could, see, there you go. Couldn't get the books directly, can go right to the local LCS and get it. Because you know what? Sometimes they only got $5 to spend on a comic book. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes, they don't have $25. They only got $5. You know what I mean? So it's a, and for $5, you expect, a floppy, basically kind of thing is what you expect for $5. The mine are actually price pointed. I actually have, the price on mine. So, which is why I have the price of the actual book in my mind is $5 bagged and boarded. You know what I mean? The extras that you get on the crowdfund and the shipping and handling is the rest of the $15. I mean, to me, it is a skinny push, but I am not a well-known creator. I'm not a legend like Art here. You know what I mean? I have to prove myself. So I'm taking the financial hit now to prove myself. So,
well, you're proving yourself. And the thing is, you are taking all the knocks because you're not working with the Marvel or DC. You know what I mean? So all the accolades and all the hard knocks are coming directly at you. There's nothing, there's no buffer between that. And so, but, for me, it's where I've always wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And so there are some advantages to being the mainstream, but to be honest, it's a completely different beast. You might get like, oh, you're a legend or you're this, but really, I think like every square inch that I've gained over the last couple of years, it's just been hard fought. You know what I mean? Like it's not like guaranteed and it's not easy. I really wish I could do stuff like this more. Where you could take the word, you can talk to the people, you can get, attention, and you can build the energy up for these campaigns. And so, and that's also unique that we are the voice. And the thing is, when DC did the New 52, they sent out emails to all the creative people that were working for them, and they asked us, Drew, to promote the books we were working on with our social media.
But
no compensation, no compensation, no nothing. They asked us to promote. And so
I could see that with Image, but not with DC. I mean, with Image, if you're the owner of your property, you know what I mean. I could see, yeah, okay, I'm gonna social network my own property because I want to make sure it, yeah, but with DC, no.
I just realized I had a DC hat on. I just threw this on real quick after I got out of the shower. It was just there.
It must be nice to have like all that, all that merch from those years that you've been with those. I mean, I mean, we've had a little bit of back and forth about the stories and stuff, man. But I could sit here like listening to like your stories of the stuff that you worked on and the stories behind it. And I mean, I could do that for days, man. And you have so much to share. It's unreal, the experiences that you have. I mean, that's major, man.
But where I was, thank you. But where I was going with that is that Marvel and DC was asking us to do what you and I are doing right now.
Right.
For them.
For free.
For free. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just it boggles my mind. And then once, like, if things didn't go their way, then they would micromanage and tell you how to address people, how to talk to people, things like that. And so I just thought, like, this is just craziness. It makes more sense to do what we're doing right now. And I think that what we're doing, Drew, it's very tough, but it's a growth market. I see things growing here. I see things kind of stagnating in the other direction. So, I guess I want to say it again. If there are any retailers out there, contact Drew. He's an easy guy to deal with.
You can find me right there on Twitter, on YouTube, or on Facebook. I mean, I'm also on Instagram, The Drew Love. I mean, if you go onto Instagram, / The Drew Love, Twitter / The Drew Love, YouTube / The Drew Love, you will find me at either those. So it's I'm easy to find that way.
Yeah, order some books, get some Captain Love books in your shop.
Yeah. I mean, so you can go to CaptainLove.com. You know what I mean? Or even MrEComics.com. I have a bunch of, what I do for a living, how I make my money, let's just set this out real quick. This is not new news. I don't make 1 penny on Captain Love right now. In fact, I'm completely upside down still because I'm trying to build this business. I make my money from being a little programmer bitch for clients that have, extremely unreasonable demands on the regular. And
but don't forget where the main income is at night, as a male escort.
Right. Gotta have that.
There's that.
Just, can't talk that one down. Yeah, no.
Oh, we got Sim in here. Cool. He took the bait.
I bit, and
What's
I'm
up,
here.
Sim?
How are you, man?
I'm feeling great. How you doing? Thanks for sending me the link.
Hey, no problem.
I was in the chat, and I'm like, oh, let's go see what's happening on Twitter for a second. Oh, I got a message.
Yeah, well, Drew and I are saving the industry now. We're talking plans on how we can make the industry a better place.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was participating in the chat. I had a lot to say. Because I agree with you guys. Like, I agree with you guys 100%. Like, like the industry, the LCS, but we need us as CG to think bigger also, because we have different type of product. We have mangas, we have comic books, we have floppies, we have graphic novels, right? We can't all put our eggs in one basket. So that's why I'm like, there's a book distribution, so we can hit the bookstores. There's this. Comics grew before because they were everywhere. So where there was books, novels, you would find graphic novels or trade paperbacks. You would find floppies with every magazine. This is what we need again.
I'm sorry, I have to do this. Sheldon, actually, this is a great joke. He said, Drew better stay off my block. This corner is mine. We got another male escort in the chat here. Go ahead, Sim. I'm sorry.
No, but that's pretty much it. Like, it's the idea that we need to expand, and one of our strengths is the fact that it's like, like if you go into the manga, there's comics for every type and every genre. There's every type of delivery of it. Some are, regular, some come out every year. It's the same thing in Europe. and it's what we have here in CG. Some are like 100 pages, some are 24 pages. There's not one way of doing things. And one of the things that killed the business was, what to me, was when everything started to try to centralize around Diamond and LCS, which to me was like the industry shooting themselves in the foot.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Because we were everywhere before.
yeah,
Like you could go to a gas station, find comics. You could go to the freaking mall, go to a grocery store and find comics. You could find deluxe ones in bookstores.
yeah.
And
I think
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think a couple of things are responsible, like in unison, for making the industry different. I mean, obviously, entertainment changed. You know what I mean? There was more access to video games. People stopped reading. You know what I mean? Cartoons got a higher quality and more regular, access to cartoons. There's a lot more cartoons out there. And then DC and Marvel changed the way they were delivering comic books. You know what I mean? They were not the same. Where it was a high quality story. It was now like all these stories that are all these spin-offs. You know what I mean? It just became this overly vast saturation. You know what I mean? And then the price of a comic book, because the quality of comic book got a lot better, the price also got a lot better. And then now you have these really bloated corporations, you know what I mean, needing to make a certain price point on a comic book because they're such a bloated corporation. You got, instead of it being, 3 or 4 people involved in the production of the comic book, it's 15, 20 people involved, and they all got to get a piece of it. You know what I mean? So as that became the behemoth that it became, I think it kind of strangled the industry a little bit. Because I think that's kind of why they're such strong arming, because they're trying to control the money of it. Because if it was really a fair market competition in the LCSs where you had all the books that were available across the board, you know what I mean, people wouldn't necessarily go and buy so much DC all the time. You know what I mean? They would change up, because you'd get bored of the same boring story being told, with just a different character. It's like, oh wait, didn't Thor do this 2 months ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want an industry to thrive, you need to be able to serve multiple clients, right? So you can't just aim kids, you can't just aim adults, you can't just you can't play the middle ground all the time, neither, trying to hope you're gonna hit one or the other.
Well, especially with the product that they already have a really diversified library to pull from. The main thing with Marvel and DC that have always upset me. And I remember I've been part of books that have been canceled. And I remember I was talking to Dan Jurgens, and Thor I think Johnny Romita Jr. was drawing it. It was a great book, and it got canceled, something like that. And we were talking, and all the heat went down to Dan Jurgens and JR. Like, that's where everybody was like, well, it didn't do well because of this. The companies let that go, right? Oh yeah, it's the artist's fault. It's the creative people's fault. It's not always the creative people's fault. I have been part of books that were brilliant but were hard to sell. Did those companies try harder to sell them? No, they did not. They let them fail based on whatever was going to happen. And so if you don't get behind something, it could be the best thing in the world, especially if it's different. Things that are different are hard. Event stuff, all that shit that they sell, that's easy. That's easy to sell. It's hard to sell something like that. Well, that Thor was just good. I don't know why it didn't sell. But I did New 52. It was Deathstroke, the Terminator. So that was my book for the New 52. And Kyle Higgins and Joe Bennett on pencils. It was a brilliant book, but it unfolded slowly, and then the payoff was around like issue 4 or 5, somewhere around there when you started. But if you read it every month, it was compelling. It was amazing. I've done hundreds of books. For me to get excited about a book, it has to be really, really good. And this book did it. And, it gets canceled. We get fired. They get a new creative team going on it. And the thing is, you had a unique, good property. You had something that was doing something different that had a chance to become really, really big. Did you promote it? Did you get behind it more? Not really. So my thing is, like, when Hollywood makes a blockbuster, $100 million movie. They have half that budget into advertising. So like 50,000 or $50 million goes into advertising.
Mhm.
Comic books do not do that.
Right.
They need to start doing that. When they budget each one of these books, they need to consider advertising as far as their budgets. They have to. So if it costs $40,000 to put out the book, they should at least put $10,000 into marketing that book. I know it would be expensive every month, but figure out a way to do it. They have marketing people at Marvel and DC. These companies have. What do they do? Put an ad together, put it in Diamond, and let it sell itself based on one piece of artwork this big and a paragraph?
Right.
Would you want your future to come down to a fucking paragraph and a piece of artwork 1 inch by 2 inches?
Yeah.
You know, or if you want, you can pay $1,200 and get a full page ad in Diamond. That's bullshit, man. That is such a horrible way.
That's one of the things that I thought was weird. Like when I first like started like addressing with Diamond back in the days, it's like you have to like submit your project. They accept it. You have to offer them the price that they want. Plus, they're not going to advertise you. You have to pay for the advertisement.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, they actually recommend right on their website when you read the submission process to Diamond. They actually right on their website they suggest that you have $2,500 for marketing. They want your marketing plan because they don't want to. It makes sense that they don't want to engage in a publishing company that's not going to produce something that they can make money on too. You know, that makes sense.
Let me read this super chat, and then I'll come back to your point, Drew. Thank you so much, Blue Samurai Zero, for the $2. Mail just arrived. Gemini from Hack Shack Studios. Good to know. The Chrono books are going out as we speak, and the black and white second chance campaign is fulfilled. Everything's out.
Oh, I by the way, I'm excited to read my Chrono Mechanics because I want to. I've been telling you that as soon as I finish reading that, I'm gonna start pitching you stories, man.
We were brainstorming the other live stream. Yeah.
Can I just ask you one question for the shipping?
Sure.
Did you send all international like a while back for the black and white? I had the Great Capullo cover. Just an idea because I know it takes like a month or two.
The Capullos went out. It's fulfilled, but I think we're the last ones to go out.
Okay.
So be a little patient on that, but they all have gone out. So it might take a little bit more time because it is international, and they were the last ones that went out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as for I see Michael Bancroft there was asking about large advertising. He's talking about large advertising budgets. Yeah. The thing. Okay. Like actually, marketing is something that I do professionally. Actually, I do it less now. And my business actually took a hit because I haven't been like super successful with the comic books, and my competition has been using the fact that I'm not super successful with comic books to tank me, when we're competing for work. So I've lost a lot of work as I've put in more time on comics. Go figure, right? But the thing is like when you're thinking about entertainment marketing, there is one rule of thumb that has always been consistent across all entertainment, where it's books, music, movies, anything like that. You're supposed to think that the production budget, what it costs to produce the book itself, is the same number you need to assign to marketing. The same number.
Yeah. And just your point with what you were talking about, Diamond, and then I haven't really cared for Diamond's business model for decades now. In the day at Image Comics, the checks I was cutting to Diamond would boggle your mind, man. Tens of thousands of dollars. And so I don't like the fact that company double and triple dips the same thing. Okay, so you have a catalog, right? This is just one bit of like a pet peeve of mine. You have a catalog, but you also retail the catalog. So then you create a system where now people don't go in and just consume, like look at the books on the wall. They can do that, but most people pre-order their books. So they buy a catalog, there's an order. This is the normal consumer. This isn't a comic shop. This is a consumer.
Exactly.
They fill out paperwork,
Mm-hmm.
and then they give it to them, and then that's how they get their product. So they have to buy the book so they can order.
Mm-hmm.
That's corrupt. That's horrible right off the bat.
And they have to try to sell them to.
Right. And then they have to wait for their order, and then the whoever's putting ads in or using Diamond has to pay them for their space, and then has to pay any additional for advertising, which is promotion.
Right.
Dude, listen, man. Listen, Diamond. You're making money off this too. When do you put what assets do you put in? Where do you invest? You create win-win-win scenarios for yourself. You win on every count. Every one of these moves is putting money in your pocket. You're not investing shit.
That's what I always said, that Diamond was one of the big players in the first downfall of comics. They're
Right, but it's weird because I listen. What's his name? Jemis? No, not what is his name? I can't remember the guy's name right now. The guy running Jeppy, and so there was a point where the industry needed Diamond. They kind of did save the industry at one point, and this goes back way back. But what they did is, with a weakened company, they came in and then just dominated. And then they created a system that only benefits them because they got to rebuild the system in their likeness. You know what I mean?
Right.
They got to rebuild everything that would benefit them. So the whole business paradigm, the whole way of doing things is all structured with Diamond. And even when Jeppy was talking currently, just like, on people's live streams, he was talking about and we're also going to have a new feature where if you want vintage comic books, you can order them through Diamond. Well, this is the same thing. You never talk about how you're going to expand the market. You never talk about distributing into other venues. The reason you don't is because you want this really narrow focus, because everything funnels into your pocket. Everything goes right into Diamond. So Diamond is in a win-win-win scenario with every aspect, every move that is made. And we all know that if you're a monopoly, the industry cannot grow. You're going to always placate yourself. You're always going to do what's going to benefit you. Not necessarily the industry as a whole, but you as a company. And that's exactly what has happened. All they care about is selling it to the retailer. And then the retailer's stuck with it. And then even to take the risk out of it, they'll order it. As a customer, you can order, directly to Diamond. It's a screwy system that only benefits one part of it.
Right, and obviously that kind of system is designed to benefit the larger publishers because they have a smaller price point, and so that they can offer a bigger percentage to Diamond to move product, and so they're going to be able to move more of those larger publishers and with the cost factor for themselves. You know what I mean? And then of course, let's talk Diamond. They have what's it called? Their marketing magazine. Previews. Yeah. You have to, if you want to get the attention of any of the LCSs and you're a nobody, you have to advertise in previews. DC and Marvel do not have to advertise in previews because they're going to put a book out. It's going to say DC or Marvel, and they put that on a comic book shelf, or they put that in front of it on the ordering list from the catalog that Diamond has.
Yeah.
And I mean, people will be like, okay, this is DC, this is DC, this is Marvel. These names.
Also, they have a section, so there's a DC section. There's 100 books in there. So as far as, and they're right at the beginning of the catalog. So if you just have Captain Love, that's going to be in the back, and there'll be one solicitation. You know what I mean?
Right.
There'll be one little blurb, right?
Right. So
another thing
it
to
requires
highlight.
the marketing dollars. Yeah. So you can get their attention, so people know to look for Captain Love, because they're not going to find it just browsing the book. They're not going to see, oh, Captain Love just here, I'm going to get this. No, you have to advertise in pages. You have to try and if you don't advertise in previews, I mean, you definitely have to do comic book resources, because as much as that website sucks, that's the one that most LCSs actually refer to.
Right.
And to highlight another point, to back what you were saying, like, other than, to add to what you were saying about Diamond, is the fact that keep in mind that $3.99 book that they sell, they only pay 25 cents, sometimes even less.
Yeah,
to
usually
to the publisher or the creator selling it to them. So imagine the difference between $3.99 and 25 cents. All the rest is shared between them and the LCS back then, because that's how it was.
Well, it's like the LCS is paying probably like somewhere between 40 and 60% of the cover price, depending on the deal.
How much they buy, how many they buy,
depending on how many they buy and the deal that's being offered to them. Because I mean, because sometimes some publishers can offer a incentive for a specific book, because they don't know how well it's going to do. So to encourage its sales, they'll offer a bigger incentive on to buy it. And then these guys will they as the retailers, they know pretty much what's going to sell. And then the price point is also a motivator. So if they can only have to pay 40% of the cover price, that's obviously a bigger price point that they can move the book.
And it's not just a problem in American comics, right? It's also the same thing that happened in Europe. Like if you look at the business model of how they work, the entire team of production on that book, like the creative, they get between 6 to 10%, and 10% is if you're famous. Yeah. And when you think about it, it brings everything back in value, like that quarter on that $3.99. Knowing that the entire creative team, the artist, the writer, the public, the people that the letterer, the people that the designer, the in designer, right? All those people are just like 6%.
Yeah. Well,
that needs to change.
It's actually ridiculous how that all works out. I mean, especially because if you're coming down from Marvel or DC, they're the people that are making the most money are not the people producing the books. You know what I mean? They're the people who are making the decisions.
And like Art was saying, right now they set it up so they have no risk at all. They're always on a win scenario. Always.
Yeah. Well, Diamond is. I mean, they do take minor risk, but they don't invest in their risk. Their risk is different. It's like, say, warehouse space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like their overhead is warehousing. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So they have a different kind of risk. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we could go on forever, but the thing is, what's it? George says. He says, "I'm not sure I understand the panel's point, but I'm pretty sure I disagree." Yeah. But in a nutshell, I think it's just the industry put all their eggs in one basket, and they didn't, when they could have course corrected. And when they could have done something, if somebody like me knew decades ago that there was going to be hell to pay, they had to have as well. But there's always the safe bet, so they go with the safe bet, and they don't really create waves. And most people, their nature is they don't change until they're forced to change. And so what I think's happening now is things with COVID, and then the sales, and then a lot of the political rantings and messaging in comic books and stuff like now. I think it's all come to a head, and we're reaping what the industry has sowed over decades. And so it has finally come to a head. And instead of like course correcting when things could have, and then try to build something stronger, it never course corrected. So the shit hit the fan, and now everybody's like, "What the hell's going on? What are we gonna do?"
And CG is the answer.
It's a sinking ship, yeah. And CG is the answer, and people are looking towards us now, and it's a great place to be. But like we were saying, George, if you didn't listen earlier, my biggest fear is that Marvel and DC, these mainstream, these companies that have big pockets, and this is where this whole discussion started, going towards, is that you have Disney, you have Warner Brothers, you have these corporations that could invest money into these comic books, but they don't. And then I was thinking about this too. Like, I remember Jimmy Palmiotti tweeted out, he was like, celebrities that have been in these superhero movies, tweet out and say how much you love comic books. Whatever, like this is falling on deaf ears. It's not really going to make that much of a difference. It's kind of like, just instead of donating time at a soup kitchen and actually being there and physically helping, they're just giving money, and that money could go anywhere. You know what I mean? You don't really know where it's going. It's kind of a hollow gesture is what I'm trying to say. But especially
if they have too much money to spare, you know what I mean?
Right. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything because they have so much money. But then you have Keanu Reeves. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you do it. Like Gal Gadot, you want to do a fucking comic? You want to save the industry? Get with a writer. Work with Drew. Write a story. Create a character that's loosely based on yourself. Captain Love is loosely based on Drew. Look at his hair, you know what I mean? Like do that, crowdfund, but don't do it with Boom Studios. Don't do it. I don't like that idea either. Like, I think it's kind of like what the way Zach did it with Stallone. That's the way to do it. It still has the indie spirit. You have a celebrity attached to it, and you create an IP or an existing IP. You plug it into crowdfund. You put out a great comic book, and you go forward like that. I just don't want to see. I don't want to see small publishers. If they're really, really small, maybe. It depends on the product and the project. But I really don't want to see like Dark Horse doing it. I don't want to see Image doing it. I don't want to see Marvel. I don't want to see DC. I don't want to see Boom. I don't want to see some of these other companies.
Big corporation using crowdfunding because it's supposed to be to start your own company.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like ever since I mean, it's like I don't want to sound too negative because I know you did a cover for them, but Dynamite has been doing the crowdfunding model on the covers and stuff, and ever since that I saw that I've been worried, like when is Image going to start doing it? When is Dark Horse going to start doing it? When is the crowdfunding comics area going to be dominated by all the
mainstream?
The mainstream, yeah. When's that going to happen? And then because now,
that's also what happened before in Kickstarter. Remember that back in the days with the movie, the games, and then there was the comics. Then all the mainstream came to Kickstarter and they killed it. Then Polito came back and dominated Kickstarter. Yeah.
Well, I worry because I look at how how many products there were in the crowdfunding community of CG a year ago. You know what I mean? We're like 10 times more now. Yep. You know what I mean? It's really hard for me to get the word out in comparison. I mean, in my first book, my campaign was I was an unknown, unproven. After my book everybody got my book in their hands. They're like, "Wow, this is awesome!" Boom! I started selling like crazy. You know what I mean? And then, there was, issues and Comicsgate took a whole nother shift and we're all like those of us who are smaller, who were not established, well-known people in the community have had to reset ourselves and start pushing again. And it's actually a whole new challenge. But yeah, so I was gonna say, the thing is like, it's already hard enough now with as many comic books as there are to crowdfund for us nobodies. Us people who are trying to do this because we love the medium, we love telling stories. You know what I mean? Those of us who are trying to start out, it's getting harder and harder and harder. You know what I mean? So it's like, the fact that we're in the game now, it's easier for me now in the game. But for somebody who's on their first book, who has no connections, has no, is just starting out, it's super hard for them, harder than it is for me right now. It's hard now. It's hard,
but there's no odds stacked against you. There's no there's no retailer. It's all based on your hustle. So you can succeed. There's nobody gatekeeping. Like Kickstarter does have some gatekeeping, but as far as Indiegogo right now, there's nobody limiting you. You know what I mean? The
Right.
sky is the limit. If you tomorrow could figure out the best way to advertise your book, it could blow up. Or your next book, you know, could you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and that's all on you. I want to take. There's a couple chats. But DC and Marvel don't have big pockets anymore. Their parent companies are in so much debt. Yeah, I'm not talking about necessarily the here and now. I'm talking about they had decades to course correct and put money into advertising. So that's that. And George is giving me crap this stream. Oh, why does everyone hate Boom? I don't hate Boom. I don't hate any of these publishing companies. I just want to be clear with that. I don't. But they have their business model. Make that business model healthy. Work towards that. Save that. You know what I mean? Put your energy there. Don't bring it here. We're doing this stuff because we don't have a big publishing company behind it.
They also have stockholders.
Right.
They have all these things going. Boom has movie deals. You know, they have there's other things that they're doing. And also, Drew, you brought up my Vampirilla black and white cover. And the reason I did this, and the reason a lot of Comicsgate people did this, one, I love Nick Barucci. I think he's a great guy. I love his company. I like Dynamite. I think they're great people. But two, is it made sense because for me, like Vampirilla is one of, it may have been published like Warren Publishing did it in the day years ago, stuff like that. But it was always a indie industry standard. You know what I mean? Like Vampirilla almost like stood for like the indie spirit. You know what I mean? So when I got involved, I was still thinking indie spirit, and also like it's a great way for Comicsgate to kind of assimilate with other publishers. And I thought, at least at the time, that Dynamite was pretty brave, you know, wanting to work with us, you know, and I thought it could have been a deal changer if we could have stayed the course and weathered the storm. I think it could have changed things. But things being what they are, I don't blame anybody. You know, things are what they are, and people have to do what's right for them. But that's kind of that's what I was thinking getting involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, you know, there was this indie spirit that was there, and I think it makes sense.
Yeah, well, my first impression was when Diamond was doing it that they were like, you know, they were like taking the indie spirit. You know what I mean? And then when they backed off, I kind of lost.
You mean Dynamite?
Dynamite, yeah. Did I say Diamond? I meant Dynamite. Yeah. I mean, but when they backed off, you know what I mean? I kind of lost the impression that they were like, you know, like taking the indie spirit, you know.
Leroy's turning on George. No, I don't mind it because it gives me an opportunity to clarify. So I don't mind those things, and we should start wrapping this up. But Sim, you have something going on, right? You got something happening right this very minute?
Yeah, I got a campaign that's right now have 8 days left to go. It's called Tales from the Nateverse. And it's an anthology series of right now 3 issues that will lead into my main book called Nat the Merc. So you know, when you start writing like a story, you create like background stories to all your characters. You know, background to the universe. And I'm like, what if that's how I started it all, right? You start by introducing short stories because it all started with being approached by an editor and being an anthology series, being presenting one story at a time. So I'm like, can I build a universe with one story at a time? And that magazine got canceled, so this is what I'm bringing back, and I'm finishing. So right now I'm number 1 is getting ready to be finished, completed. It's in coloring and lettering. I'm working on number 2. Then there's going to be number 3, and then Not the Merc.
Well, I dig this cast of characters that you've created. Their designs and everything. Pretty intriguing. Very, very cool, my friend.
Thank you.
So, you guys come by. I don't have a link in the description. I do have a link for Captain Love, though. So I apologize. So if there's anybody, you know, I can put it in the link. I'll put a link in the description, or I mean in the chat for you there, Sim.
Well, thank you.
And let's watch the video here. and see what Tales from. Is that Nateverse?
Nateverse.
Tales from the Nateverse.
Tales from the Nateverse. This ongoing anthology collects short stories introducing characters within the Nateverse and are all connected to the main series, Nat the Merc. This 64-plus page perfect-bound anthology series collects short stories.
That's the first story that was in 2013,
Rose,
2012.
and other characters within the Nateverse that you'll get to know and love in this prelude.
I think you're gonna like the end art.
This volume contains 2 previously published Nat stories, as well as the previously published Helena Rose stories, introducing you to those characters. In addition, you'll also be receiving 2 brand new stories by Simon Sim Poitier. Royal Rumble, colored by 7 Legions Michael Beacon. Also, Nat and Zed, colored by Spartan Scotsman of Xenotype. Arm up and fire off into the Nateverse.
Oh, that was cool. I dug the music and I dug the animation at the end.
I knew you'd like the end.
Dude, you got me excited there. That got me right in the head.
And my plan is when I get to Not the Merc campaign, I'd like to have a few sequences that put together as an anime intro, like it's an anime.
Oh, that's cool. So what is this Bisley? What is this
That's an original ink wash by Simon Bisley of Nat, and it's also unlocked. Yeah, it's
here?
it's in the updates. If you go in my updates, I put it there in full.
You got to put it on the main page. That thing, it's a Simon Bisley. So in updates.
Yep. It should be in that one there.
Yep. This one here. It's not in that one.
No, it's the other one. Sorry.
Am I still in the right direction? Mm-hmm. There it is.
There you go.
Oh shit! Look at that.
So that's 11 by 17. So it's up for grabs there, and you also get 11 by 17 of me doing that, and you get the two version of the covers of the book.
Oh, very cool. Well, everybody come check this out. It's the Nateverse.
And now I'm getting a painted cover by Inkspot. So he's doing a total paint over of a cover for number 2, and it's also going to be included in the number 1 book.
Oh, sweet, sweet.
So he's doing a Frazetta take on my drawing. So he's doing a paint over my pencils. And look, I can show you a little sample. You sent me another update not too long ago. Hold on.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to, thank you guys so much for the super chats. I do appreciate it. Edwin, the ace, he's got a mailing list. So go check it out. Art, you need wrenches. I'll be your Huckleberry. I should.
Yeah.
I think I have your link here for the Nateverse. There it is.
Thank you.
God, that music's in my head now.
I like that little riff that he has.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Red Gears that did that.
Oh, cool.
This is the paint over that Inkspot is doing. The colorist for Cash Grab. So yeah, he's doing a paint over my pencils, and it's looking awesome.
This looks like it could be like a rock and roll cover. Like remember that Queen cover that had like what was it? News of the Day with the robot and then the band was in the hand. Yeah.
But that's my idea. You saw like in one of in the trailer, you saw Nat in the hand of a robot.
Wait a minute.
A lot of my stuff is based on heavy metal, dude. It's not the Merc. It's like I take metal. Everything I like about European sci-fi, heavy metal magazine is Metal Hurlant. So that's where Metal Baron was. That's where all that stuff was. I love like all the UK stuff, and I'm a big fan of Lobo and all that type of crazy sci-fi, right? So this is not like that's why I don't say like, Drew has a pure sci-fi comic, right? Me, I have a pure space fantasy. Like you're gonna come in here, you're gonna find magic, you're gonna find giant robots, there are mechs, everything, aliens of all types. It's gonna be funny. You're gonna find ass titties as well. You know, everything you came to expect from reading a heavy metal magazine. This is what I'm trying to offer with Not the Merc and Tales from the
Well, do
Nateverse.
me a favor, Sim. Blow it up again like you originally had. Wait, okay, a little bit. Yeah, like pull back just a little bit. Yeah, where you can get the full figure in there. Yeah, just a little bit more. Yeah, right there. It looks like it could be a wraparound like album cover. Remember, like old album covers?
Yeah.
But you know which one he's doing after this?
It'd have to be reverse of the image, but
Do you know Louis Royo, the guy that used to do all those heavy metal covers? And, like he's super photorealistic. I'm a big fan of his. So the next cover that he's gonna be painting for me is gonna be this. It's gonna be a big wraparound cover.
oh, I saw that on your Twitter.
Yeah, so he's gonna do that in like a Louis Royo type of finish painting, and it's gonna be the wraparound cover of the Not the Merc book that's coming out next year.
Nice.
Like I'm already working on getting people to work on my covers for my fourth book. That's how serious I am about Tales from the Nateverse and Not the Merc.
Okay, this was unnecessary. Hyper kaiju. That was just mean. That was just mean and uncalled for. I think he's referring to that. I was reminiscing about News of the World, the Queen album cover.
The New World Order, yeah.
Well, I wish we had more time for you, Sim, but I'm gonna take off, and Drew and I have been kind of hanging out, having a good time. So the Captain Love book is in the description, so click on that, go check it out. The Nateverse is in the chat, and Chrono Mechanics is still in demand. So if you guys want to go and pick up a work in progress book or a variant cover, let me see. Look at these variant covers. Look at these. These are beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome.
These are beautiful. So we got all the Chrono books in, you guys. So they are being fulfilled now. They are going out daily. So keep an eye on the mailbox for that. That is the Doug variant. Let me see. I have some others here. Oh, here's the work in progress book. This is the art book.
Oh, sweet.
And it opens like a centerfold.
That's cool.
It is a centerfold. And here is Zen, the crazy intergalactic deity, drawn by Aaron Lopresti, DC's Aaron Lopresti. And let me see if I can find something else. Oh, Sean Cheeks Galloway. These are all the variants.
Wow.
Yeah, this one came out really cool. And then last but not least, Caravaggio by Carlo Barberi.
Did you print through Mix'em?
No, I kind of got burned by Mix'em, so I went with another company, which I will probably start naming down the line, but I don't want to promote them yet. But these books came out really, really good. Yeah, Peter turned me on to these guys. Is Mix'em doing yours, Drew?
Yeah, Mix'em's been doing mine. The reason why I was asking is because Mix'em isn't really a friendly business if you're going to do variants. So I was wondering, you know, like what you were using because you were doing variants. So
that's why I don't use Mix'em too. I use a local one because the variant covers doesn't cost me that much.
I'm going to start when we move to Texas. I'm going to make a real concerted effort to find a local printer because I have a feeling I'm going to get better results. And I just have this philosophy that it's harder to screw somebody to their face, but it's easy to do it else, you know. So if I'm there and I'm like, hey, I'm a good guy, you know, maybe, you know, we can get better production values. Although we fought for this. That's why I say this book looks gorgeous, but man, we had to fight and work to get there.
You had to pull teeth to get to that quality, is what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, we were using, like for the first black and white, we were using Asia Korea, which is in no. I did that for the art book. I did my Oodles of Doodles book with Asia Korea. They freaking nailed it. And they're obviously Korea. And then with the black and white book, we used a Global PSD, and they're a China company. It's run by Americans, but it's a Chinese. They use China facilities and things like that.
Kind of like Print Ninja does, yeah.
Yeah. But it's their company too. Like they own the Chinese print. You know what I mean? Like it's printed in China, but Global PSD owns the facilities and stuff. And so I like them, and they did a great job. But it's China, COVID. You know what I mean? So we were looking more as far as domestic, printers and stuff like that. So keeping with that idea, I'm going to scan, Texas and make sure that we can get with somebody locally, because we had all the cards made locally. We had all the prints, the mini prints,
I do all my trading cards and all my small prints. Those are all done out of Glendale. So
yeah, and they're great. Like if we go there, they'll do a one-off. We'll look at it, and if we go, well, it's a little dark, it's a little whatever, they'll lighten it up, where it's a little misregistered. It's never been a problem with the local guys. It's always been a problem with the bigger printers, except for the like Asia, Korea, and Global PSD. So, and then I talked to Pete Samedi, and Pete says, Art, this is an ongoing thing. Like even if you find a vendor that kind of you're working with, every once in a while, man, you have to kind of push back, and you have to, go, no, we have to do it this way, because shit happens. So I'm trying to make my peace with that. And for me, it seems stupid. It's like, well, I've used you several times now. Just do it the same way.
Right. Just do it like we've been doing it. Oh, you can't? Okay, jeez.
Right. Well, even I've had a proof made. I have a proof.
Mm-hmm.
I paid extra money. I paid $300 for this proof. Print it like the proof. Then they're like, well, this XYZ happens and whatever. I'm like, well, you did it once. Why can't you do it again?
Yeah, because the proof is usually printed digital and not like heat offset printing, because they can't do a one book on a heat offset.
Well, Mixam did it, but this new company we did, they assured us it's printed exactly the way the actual print run would be. Because Mixam they were upfront about that there would be a bit of a difference between digital, but then I'm also thinking, like, if digital gives you more the true colors, then why aren't we doing it digital? Like, why the hell are we doing it?
The difference between digital and heat offset printing is the slight 1/8 inch variant on the page setting. So like a digital, they go through them so fast, the page, if they could control it being the same spot every time, you know what I mean? It would be the preferred method. But like with heat offset, you actually, because you're using plates, you get the same spot every time. The paper's in the exact same place. The plate comes down. Everything's exact. Digital, you get an 1/8 inch variant. So,
and also I heard for like small print runs, digital's better, but larger print runs, offsets, is preferred, because it's probably, like you said, they can have a higher standard of quality with a bigger print run.
Right. Another thing is digital press. After when that's how they all told me, is when you get to 1,000 copies, they cannot really offer you reduction because the price for them doesn't go lower. But when you go to offset, that's when it's different, because now it's rolls of paper. So then the more you print, the less you pay.
That is also accurate, right? With digital, you can't get the price per book down past, I think, like maybe $3 a book or something.
Like it's very low, between 500 to 1,000, the difference. Let's just say, past 1,000, there's no difference.
Right. Well, also, it's more work for digitals to put the books together, because it again, a smaller run. You know what I mean? But
it's like one of the reasons why I like using my printer is because I know that they don't just use there's the old trade paperback type of doing where they cut the paper, then they just glue it. The one I use, they use the German bind, meaning there's cut, then there's folds, then there's sewing, then there's glue. So it makes it a stronger book.
Yeah,
it's hard to break that spine.
Yeah, it really, the spine of a book really comes down to how it's produced. You can have an over the top production on the spine that's not done by a good company and it'd be crappy, and you can have a real simple one that's done by a good company and it'd be strong as heck. So.
How many old graphic trade paperbacks you bought, and then you opened it too much, and then you heard a crack and all the pages fell out?
Yeah, you wear it out.
Yeah.
When it comes down to the glue, like for instance, my dictionary, the pages don't fall out, but the whole book itself is kind of shifted inside of it. And I don't, as far as trade paperback comic books, I don't open them enough to break them. You know what I mean? Because I cherish them and treasure them. But my actual like say actual novels that I've had over the years, they take a lot of abuse, and it really requires them to sit in the sun before the glue begins to give, and then the covers come off and the pages flow out. So there's all kinds of factors involved in that. So it's like,
what's weird is I bought an Adam Hughes art book. It was the DC Adam Hughes art book. That thing fell apart. Like I was like, wait a minute, man. Like, are you cutting corners on this thing?
Yeah, they had to have been. Yeah, they had to have been.
Yeah. But we should wrap it up. I do want to thank. We got a couple backers. We got some action on Chrono. So thank you very much. And thank you guys for coming in, Drew. I appreciate it. Captain Love is the book. It's in the description. It's a great looking book, you guys. Go check it out. Back that book and play the video, man. It's entertaining as all hell, man. And that's all Drew, him singing, rocking out. I love the song. It's very catchy. And Sim, go check out the Nateverse. And these are both like they're live campaigns right now.
Yeah,
and
yes.
they're counting down. So you guys get in there, back to books.
Can I add just one little thing? Right now,
Yep.
if you back before the end of the funding, right now you're getting a free trading card with your book, and the first 100 physical book backer gets a sketch card with it.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll sit there and draw sketch cards forever. So just let's make him work for it.
I said 100.
I'm
not going 200 like last time.
Let's trick him. Let's see if we can encourage him to make it 250 this time.
On Blood Hunt, like I gave a challenge, like if you guys bring me up 10K, right, everybody's getting a sketch card. So I ended up drawing 200 sketch card for Blood Hunt.
Well, very good, you guys. So, and thanks for coming in, Drew, Sim. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the super chats. You guys are awesome. Thanks for all the input in the chat. You guys always make this very entertaining, and the time moved very, very quickly. So thanks again. Take care. Enjoy your day.